we live in a time when increasingly our air is poison, our water's poison, our dirt, our earth is poison, our food is poison. You know, we're toxic.
We're sick.
People, I mean, humanity is sick. It's true. And that is to be concerned about. But getting depressed about that and distressed about it is going to do us absolutely no good whatsoever. People are crazier than ever because the earth is crazier than ever. It's more poison than ever. And the climate is changing rapidly and disturbing all of the cycles of all of the plants and animals on the earth, and the cycles of human beings as well, even though our cycles are already very disturbed by microwave and electrical energies saturating our environment, nuclear radiation saturating our environment, I mean, lead and fluoride saturating our environment, and all kinds of other things like over-vaccination, antibiotics, yada yada. So, even in that circumstance, the positive news is that the body has the miraculous ability to heal itself. And more deeply than that, total well-being resides living in each person.
Is it so? It is possible to be a completely healthy, vital person in a toxic environment.
No, definitely not. But it is possible to be, because how much energy does it take to clear all that toxicity? You know, but it is possible to be as healthy as you possibly can be in this period with some very simple adaptations. Okay. So that's extremely positive. I mean, for instance, you know, I mean, just simple dietary and exercise changes will do a tremendous amount. Eliminating sugar from your diet, huge. Eliminate sugar from your diet. Eliminate carbs after 2 o'clock in the afternoon from your diet. You don't have to eliminate carbs, just keep them before 2. Then the way in which your body metabolizes its food and your fat and the toxicity that gets stored in the fat will completely change. And what you will find is, through the process of contact, alignment, and flow, yoga, the yoga of the physical body, and the Kundalini yoga of the vital energy, you will increase your circulation, and it is through the miracle of circulation that this great, profound reservoir of health and wellness is delivered from deeply within us to our physical body and our heart and mind and the circumstance in which we exist. Do yoga and give up sugar, and automatically within 6 weeks your health situation will be 100% improved. Whatever it is your problem is. Give up sugar, start moving your body, you'll be better.
So when people come into our clinic, and my job is literally, my first thing I'm supposed to chart is someone's chief complaint. Mm-hmm. The first thing that we need to look at is that mentality, the way that we look at things, defeating the process that you're talking about, or is it helping? Because I'm thinking of what you're saying, and what
well, first of all,
how do we get people across this?
In your clinic, your job is to support the expression. Physicians don't heal, no physician heals anybody. The body heals itself. the modality that we engage will, more or less support our physical system in reestablishing its own inner alignment with itself and delivering all of its vitality to the systems. If it is properly supported, we will become healed. So the issue for you as a physician in dealing with people's chief complaints is it is beginning to understand the process where the obstructions exist and to consider, and you're considering how your tools can best be applied in the process of facilitating flow.
And I'm just questioning of whether one of the obstructions we have is that we often start thinking of the negative.
I don't think that's
Okay.
a big problem. I think that as a physician, particularly, I'll brag on Heather now, she is becoming one of the finest classical Chinese medicine physicians in the United States. She's in a great program with great people, and she is excelling in it, and we're proud of her. But the issue here is that as a physician, first and foremost, your job is to cultivate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that when the patient walks in the door, you are connected to your own wellness, having brought all of your resources into the moment and available to support the person who's walking in the door. And then you want to understand where the stress patterns in this person are that need to be relieved so that circulation can happen and healing can begin. So that's not necessarily a negative. And the most important thing in the whole process is that the physician themselves doesn't, it's like here's the flaw in the whole physician thing. We start thinking as doctors that we're going to heal these people. And that's just bullshit.
And we can help support the
and
teaching.
then you bring a certain amount of willpower to the situation because you have decided this is the problem and this is how you're going to deal with it. And you force it. You boom, boom, boom. I'm going to heal this person. Well, you're wrong 100% of the time in that case because the body is such a magical and complicated phenomenon and varied. There's no two systems that are exactly the same. Mm-hmm. That, we have to be in the most positive place that we can be in, connecting to this circumstance which has presented itself in front of us for support, and we have to, take it simply one step at a time. How do we support this healing process? So then that's totally positive. Even this week, Sujit Chatterjee, one of the leading homeopaths in the world, being in residence as he is every year in the Movement Center, and especially this weekend doing a seminar for some of the finest, most learned homeopaths in the United States, doing a seminar for them on the treatment of cancer with homeopathy. We're seeing miraculous things happen to people with cancer through homeopathy. And I think no matter what your diagnosis, what your issue is, it's really important to, the whole notion of fighting cancer, gonna fight cancer, gonna win, that is a part of the disease, that whole attitude, and needs to be dispensed with. You will not become well from cancer by fighting with it. You will become well by transcending it and cultivating, diet and exercise and a strong practice of detoxification. Actually,
Well, I think you're maybe reminded me of my general philosophy in this, which is, and I sort of started out asking you about people who go into something thinking of the negatives, the pathologies, the problems, or people who literally seem to want to avoid that and say, just focus on the positive. The reality is total awareness is total awareness.
Right.
To go into something.
Right. Well, I think the most positive thing we can always understand is that health is within us. It is available to us. An unimaginable possibility is alive within us and available should we choose to engage it. And only one thing separates us from the realization of that profound state or circumstance, which is, you know, a unique event to each person, and that is a whole bunch of work. And if you're willing to work, and you're capable of persistence, you will achieve extraordinariness. Now that's totally positive, and there is nothing in your environment that can obstruct that. Nothing. There will be, you know, issues in you that come up. There will be issues in your life that come up, which will require careful unraveling. And that might take time and energy, and it might seem to you sometimes as a distraction. But having the awareness that there's something really extraordinary inside you that you are constantly going back to over and over and over again for guidance will unravel every knotty problem, and somehow, and you know, I know this sounds Pollyannish, but I believe it, somehow magic happens. And it's been like that in my life.
Yeah. I think magic and science are getting closer and closer to each other all the time.
That's so true. So I think it's really important to be positive, and at the same time, you know, it's necessary to acknowledge, to recognize and acknowledge the work that we have to do and do it.